good, you guys? There's always a lot of new people getting into the fragrance game, and a lot of times they come in not really knowing what they're doing. They may either be splurging or wearing their colognes wrong or whatever questions it is that you may have. So I came up with my 10 fragrance commandments that are going to be really easy to follow. It's going to send you in the right direction. If fragrance contents is what you're seeking, go on ahead, subscribe to the channel. I guess turn on notifications and drop a comment. Love to engage with you down below. Let me start this off with commandment number 1. A reviewer's nose is not your nose. I'm going to give you 3 examples of exactly what I mean. Lattafa's Masa, clone of Ganymede, smells like body odor to me. I smell body odor in really, really bad spices with this. Now, granted, there's also some other notes in here that make it smell really good, but there's that body odor that's in here that turns me off from it. I smell it immediately. It's like a metallic, sour, but again, other stuff that's in here make it smell good. But me personally, I can't get past the body odor. Now, there's a lot of people that like this and like Ganymede that don't smell that, I guess, spice note that's in there. They don't smell that body odor kind of vibe that it has. My nose is not their nose and their nose is not my nose. Here's another, French Riviera by Mancera. People love this. And to me, I don't really see it. Smells like basic shower gel to me, just in an aquatic suntan lotion kind of vibe. They love it. I don't care for it. And then, of course, if you know me, you know Vintage Radio was going to be on here. Everybody loves this. But to me, it's unique, but it also smells kind of old school, old fashioned. People really, really love Vintage Radio. And that's what I was hoping to get. Once I got it, I didn't really feel the vibes like that. It's an acquired taste. Or should I say it's a mass appealing taste, but my acquiredness isn't working with it. So when you watch reviewers, there's several ways that you could watch them. Oftentimes you'll catch a reviewer, you may have some stuff that they already review, and you get a good sense of what they like and what you like, and you can compare and contrast that way. That's how oftentimes when I came up and buying all these different fragrances, I would watch reviewers, and a lot of times in the early stages, I blind bought a lot of stuff. But what I will say is it helped me understand what I like, what I don't like, notes that I like, notes that I don't like, and it would give me a good idea of what that reviewer also gravitates to. And it lets me know, like, okay, do I have similar tastes as that guy? Do I have similar tastes as that girl? Are there certain notes that they are explaining to me that I say, okay, that's something that I know will work on my skin? That's how you want to watch your fragrance reviewers. Not just because they say, hey, this is good, go get it now. Save your money. And that's going to lead us into commandment number 2. Sample, sample, sample. Try your best. I'm not going to say don't, but try your best not to blind buy. Now, you may have someone like me that comes along that kind of gets a read on you, gets a read on your lifestyle, gets a read on your culture, how you came up, and I could kind of push certain fragrances in your direction, and I'll oftentimes be pretty accurate on what it is that you like. However, when you're watching reviewers, and it's not someone that you know personally that can recommend you things based off of them knowing you, when you're watching reviewers and you see something that you like or you hear something that you like, there are websites that you can go on where you can buy samples of those things instead of spending $200-$300 on a bottle, or, you know, even if you don't want to pay the $40-$50 for a clone, there are websites that you can go to where you can get you a decant. Let me see. I got a whole bag of decants right here. As a matter of fact, I could put some in here. I got decants on my desk. I got a whole bunch of, look, like I could just make it rain decants. There's more. This is heavy. This is heavy. Sample, sample, sample. Now, don't get too caught up in your sampling when you are buying a whole bunch of 2 mLs for like $10, $15, $20. Try your best not to do that. Just get an idea of what it is that you like, and then that's when you can blind buy. But if it's something that's going to cost a lot of money and you can't make it to your Neiman Marcus or your Saks or your Dillard's and things like that, just try to go to one of the websites to get a decant. But try to buy a bunch of decants at once. Buying one decant at a time that doesn't make sense. Now, if you need any websites for decants, you can let me know down in the comment section that you just need an update. You need, hey, where can I get decants? Yada, yada, yada. I'll let you know down in the comment section below. Commandment number 10, learn your notes. When I started my fragrance journey, I kind of went with a lot of stuff that would be, or at least at the time was pretty standard back then. You got your Dior Sauvage. This wasn't all that standard, but you got your bondnumber9.com, and I'll show you this next one in a moment. But one of the things that I tried to experience with that is, what are things that I liked in these fragrances? So for this one, what I learned about Dior Sauvage, and this is the EDT, the very first Dior Sauvage. What I learned about Dior Sauvage is that the ambroxan in here is a thing that kicks it up to the next level. I also learned what fresh peppery notes can be like, or accords, I should say. So there's a freshness to it, but there's also pepper in here, or black pepper in here, that gives it a little bit of a spice kick. It's just a little bit of a boost, just a little kick. But one of the things that you learn about Dior Sauvage is it's very, very strong. But it's like, what is it that makes it strong? And then you learn about something like ambroxan, which is what that is. So I learned what was in here, chew the meat, spit out the bones. So it's what notes did I like versus what notes did I not care for. That's how I learned about this one. Same situation here. There was Creed Aventus that was just going rampant back in the day. Now it's gone through its different formulations, and it's no longer Creed Aventus from what? 2015, about 2015. It's no longer that Creed Aventus anymore. Good luck even finding those batches. And if you do, it'll probably cost you a whole lot. However, this, not Club de Nuit Intense Man, this was the first, let's say, inspiration of Creed Aventus that I got my hands on. And why did I do that? Well, because it had a pineapple note in it. And I said, okay, everybody loves the pineapple. When they talk about Creed Aventus, they all talk about the pineapple. They talk about the smokiness. So I said, all right, it got the pineapple. People say when you got pineapple, you got Creed Aventus. Again, this was way back. This is about 2019, 2020, around there. So I said, all right, let me buy it and see what's up with it. And I bought it, smelled it. I said, well, for one, it's not Creed Aventus. Very fruity, very pineapple-y, very juicy, right? And what I learned about this is I do love pineapple. It does smell good. But what I also learned about it is that black currant is in here. That I had to look into because I started to notice that in a lot of other fragrances that I started to get down the line that gave it a certain tanginess to it. A lot more juicy of a twinge when it came to fragrances that had black currant in it. So what did I do? When I'm looking at fragrances, when I see black currant in there, I already know what I'm picking up on, right? Along with pineapple, I know how that combination is. Let's say they were to add mint. I know how a mint, black currant, and mint combination would be. Because the more you start to learn different notes, the more you can kind of get an idea of how they would all blend well together. Now, that brings me to Desert Santal. Good luck finding this. I found this at Marshall's for $13, right? And the reason I even got this is because a cousin of mine had Le Label's Santal 33. And I smelled it. I was at his crib and I smelled it. And I said, oh my God, whoa, that smells amazing. And girl I was with, now, this was her favorite fragrance on me. Like, this was untouchable. Like, hey, that shirt you're wearing, that t-shirt, can I take that home with me? That's what this did to her. She smelled this on me. Well, not this, but she smelled that Santal 33 on me. And bro, I thought I was lunch. I thought I was food, bro. It was bad. It was bad. So what did I learn with that? I learned to start looking into musk and sandalwood. Sandalwood is what stood out to me, which brought me here because I'm in Marshall's and I'm just, they got a bunch of no name stuff. There's no name. Desert Santal. That's it. That's what Desert Santal Eau de Cologne. So I'm just picking up stuff, smelling it. And when I smelled it, I said, dear God, if that's not Santal 33, I don't know what is. Bought it immediately. Bang on it. Why? Because I know the notes. Sprayed it on. Go to my cousin. He like, yo, when'd you get that Santal 33? Gotcha, bitch. Got him. We got him. $13, bro. $13. Learn your notes and you'll know what fragrances you can blind buy. You'll know what fragrances that if you hear it from a reviewer and they start to say certain notes, and you can start to imagine what those notes would be like. And there's also Fragrantica that you can go to look into those notes and to see the scent tree and that whole thing, and could kind of put together how you get an idea of how a fragrance is going to smell. Now, I say that to say, if you're going to blind buy, at least do it with knowledge. Commandment number 4, understand the seasons. Some fragrances shine in the summertime, some fragrances shine in the wintertime. Then there's those in-between times like the spring and the fall where you can kind of get a mix in between, but in the summer and in the winter, those are two completely different categories. Completely different. I just keep pulling examples from behind me. So for one, red tobacco from Mancera. Sorry, don't have my cap. It was the old one. Matter of fact, there's dust on here. It was an old screw cap and it eventually broke. But yeah, Mancera's red tobacco, you never want to wear this in the summer. Way too potent, way too strong, way too cloying. Wintertime, you're going to dominate with red tobacco. On the opposite end, let's look at a clone, Moscow Mule. This right here is a summer fragrance. Maybe you can get away with it in the spring, but this right here needs heat to activate it. In the winter, cold is going to eat this right on up. Now, if you live in LA or Arizona or something like this, all year round, you're fine. But know your seasons, because it'd be pointless to wear this in the winter. It'd be pointless to wear this in summer. Know which fragrances go to which season. And again, you have your in-between seasons. Fall, you can do this. In the spring, if it's about 50, tops 60, you can do this with light sprays. As for this one, if it's the fall and you're still getting, let's say 70 degrees down to about 60, 65, you can get away with this. You're just gonna get overshadowed. But in the spring, you'll be fine with this. See how you could kind of blend between the off seasons versus the hardcore seasons? I think you understand. Okay, this is starting to get out of hand. I got a bunch of bottles on my desk now because every time I get to a commandment, I have to come up with, I'm coming up with different bottles. But commandment number 5, understand the occasions. So oftentimes you're going to think, hey, I'm going to the gym. What can I wear there? Hey, there's a wedding coming up. What can I wear there? Gotta go to work. What can I wear there? So you're going to want to know what type of fragrances you could wear for certain events. Let's have fun. Date night, Savoir Faire, Soul Cafe. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you're going to want something that's intoxicating, something sexy, something sensual, something that you could also bring them in close with. You want them to catch wafts of it. You don't want to suffocate anybody with this. Now, I'm not saying go and get Savoir Faire or Soul Cafe, but what I'm saying is understand the situation and the occasion and what it is that you want to go for. This right here is a thing of beauty. Oh, that's a thing of beauty. We don't got to talk about that. Let's talk about work. Terry Hermes. Now this, it's at this point is dated. I don't know what year it came out in. It's got dust on it too. But this is a very office safe, clean, fresh, kind of vetiver fragrance. And it's time for me to get a new bottle. This right here is all glass. It's time for me to get a bottle. But very clean, very fresh, and that vetiverness gives it a sense of maturity as well. Let's say you want to go to the gym. Now, if you're at the gym and you frequent the gym, you're going to be wearing a gym fragrance a lot. But you also don't want to go there and choke anybody out, but you also want to smell clean. Especially if you're one of those people that go to the gym and you actually shower before you go to the gym. Because there are some people that go to the gym smelling like last week, and it's like, come on, man. Come on, man. And I would say something like Frank Olivier's Eau de Passion. And the reason why I say this one, and this isn't like recommend videos, but it's just the type of vibe that I'm talking about. This is an airy, clean, linen fresh type of scent. This is one of those things where when you're at the gym and you're going, you're going to continue to get wafts of clean. And that should be a good thing, because there's going to be a bunch of sweat around you. There's going to be a bunch of stuff that you don't want to smell around you. And this isn't something that's going to invade anybody's space. It's going to be in your space. Very clean, very airy linens. What this is. So that's kind of the direction that you want to go. Could you go with Terry Hermes at the gym? I wouldn't say so because of the vetiver note. That gives it a different type of vibe, whereas this one is strictly clean. Let's talk about weddings. Now, this one is kind of up in the air because it could be the season, it could be indoors, it could be outdoors, or it could be, are you at a black person's wedding or a white person's wedding? Let's say you're at the white folks' wedding and you want to be clean and professional. We have Club de Nuit's Press Show 1. And this one, clean. Oh, man, that's good. Yeah, I haven't sprayed this in a while. I forgot. That was good. Whoa. Clean. This is an office scent as well. This is a pretty much, let me put that down. That's a pretty much any season, any reason, any occasion. That's a dumb reach right there. Because it's clean and it's slightly fruity up top. It starts out kind of Creed Aventus-y, but in a fresh way, almost like Sauvage a little bit, because there is like a peppery type of note up top. So you got your peppers, you got your fruits like your black currant, you got your pineapple. But then it starts to transform. It gets a bit of a caramel kind of character, and it just starts to change on its way down to that bottom part of the fragrance tree. But again, we talked about that in commandment number 3, knowing your notes. Now, if you're at a wedding and you want to have some fun and you know that it's vibing, everybody's cooling, it's just all, you know what I mean? Like it's not so formal and you don't want to step on anybody's toes. Nah, this is the one that you know when you at this wedding, once you get to the reception, folks are gonna be in there dancing, eating, and all of that. This right here, Night de Paris Diamond, which is, I want to say, an interpretation of Herba Pura, but in such a better way. And the reason why I say that is because how Herba Pura is super duper clawingly sweet, this one has the Herba Pura vibes, but it has like this cooling factor. It's not as sweet as Herba Pura, but it does have the fruits. I want to say the thing that stands out the most in this, raspberry and rose. But again, almost like Hawass ice, this kind of smells like it's got fruit on ice. There's no mintiness in it. There's no accord or note in here that says it, but sometimes things blend together and it creates a certain thing. And that thing in here is like a frosty feeling that I get from smelling this. That made Herba Pura a lot more tolerable for me. I'm not a fan of herb. But the reason why I say that is because there's character to this one and you could just have fun. Be honest with you, you could wear that when it's warm, wear it when it's cold. It's really gonna shine in cooler weathers though. Now, hopefully I don't have to grab any more bottles. Commandment number 6, learn your spray count. Let me give you an example. I can spray this 20 times and not offend anybody. I'm going to spray this 20 times because that's how I'm going to get the performance out of something like this. Can I spray it 3 or 4 times? Yeah, sure. If you don't want to get noticed with something like this. However, if I spray this 20 times, I'm going to get arrested. This right here, 3 times and you're pushing it. Red tobacco. 3 times and you're pushing it because it's so strong and it's going to put somebody in, it's going to get them through there. You don't want to do that. You're going to want to know what fragrances you can get away with spraying and how much you can spray them. I'll give you another example. Something like this is blindingly strong. This is way stronger than I thought it would be because I would spray it on and I would do, say, about 6 sprays. And within an hour or so, I'm like, all right, it's still there. It'll linger. 8 hours, I won't smell it at all. And somebody will stop me and be like, bro, what's that you're wearing? Or, hey, what's that you got on? You smell this? It's still there. So something like this, I would go 8 to 10 sprays and just walk out and I don't have to reapply. It's going to get the job done. About 6 of them, about 4 of them sprays is going to go on clothes. About 4 of them sprays is going to go on clothes. But you also want to know where to spray, right? I go one on the neck, both of those behind the ear. I do one for myself right here in the middle of my chest or right here by my neck. Sometimes you can go nose blind like that, so probably come down to your chest. Don't do your throat. But here's where we go crazy. I go back of my hand, then I hit all this. I hit all of this. This spot right here, pulse point, important. But I'll spray it down. I won't even count. I'll just spray it down like just machine gun this thing. But again, all right, I'm lying. I'll probably do like 10 to 12. I'll do like 10. But I'll go light on clothes. I'll do like 3 on clothes because I know on clothes it's going to stay. When you spray it on your clothes, that's what's going to provide the lasting power. On skin, the world is going to take it whenever it's going to take it. On clothes, it's going to last for some days until you wash your clothes. Then there's some stuff that'll stay on even after you wash your clothes, especially on hoodies. Don't let her steal your hoodie. I'll give you a couple more examples. Soul Cafe, this right here, 10 to 12 sprays. You got to ante up on this. You got to ante up on this. And their bottles do come small. I think that they don't sell any more than 50 mLs. Got to re-up. Whereas something like Mancera's French Riviera, which is a Mancera, Manceras are usually pretty. I don't think I've had a weak Mancera at all. Matter of fact, it's in my bag. I was going to say Jordan exclusive, which is something I'll go nose blind to. If I spray that more than 4 times, it's over. It's over. I wouldn't spray that more than 4 times because it's so strong. It's so strong. But, and again, Manceras are always damn near nuclear. So, gotta kind of want to go easy on the trigger with it. Other stuff is trial by error. Learn how thick your fragrance is. Learn how airy your fragrance is. Learn that if you go nose blind, if somebody tells you 6 hours later, hey, you smell good. Okay, that one's a strong one. Learn that one. Something like this, you could do 20 sprays on because it's going to need some fight. It's going to need some fight. You just got to know what it is that you're going to need to fight with versus the ones where you say, I'ma chill. Commandment number 7. Always shop around before you buy. Never assume the first place is the best price. And if you can avoid it, try not to buy resale. There's so many discounters and gray market sites that you can go to and Facebook groups that you could join where you could get fragrances at a much better rate than shopping at Sephora or Neiman, places like that. They're going to hit you over the head. Go over to the discounters. Again, you could ask me in the comment section. I'll drop you some down there. But go over to the discounters, look there first. And when you look at one, say, oh man, that's a really good price compared to what I saw at XYZ store. Don't stop there. Look at another discounter and another discounter. Start comparing prices. Write you a little cheat sheet. So that you know where you can buy from. Which leads me into number 8. Create a budget. Listen. The fragrance game could get out of control real fast. I mean, real fast. You'll say, I may need 1, 2, maybe 3 fragrances. That's just going to get me through certain situations. And next thing you know, within a few months, you got about 20 fragrances. It happens. It really happens like that. You got to get control over yourself. And the best way to do it is to stick to a budget. So you look at what it is that you have and you line them up. Okay, I got this for this occasion. I got this for this occasion. I got this for this occasion. I got this for these over here are going to go into these seasons. These are going to go into these seasons. You kind of organize it that way. Then I guess with fragrances, you kind of fill in the blanks. Like, oh, okay, I know I'm missing one for this occasion. I'm missing one for this occasion. I would love to have something for this occasion. Or I just want to try something else that's within these scent notes that I like. I'm curious. This reviewer mentioned something or talked about these fragrances and I'm curious about them. I want to buy some more fragrances. Well, here's what I'll tell you. Create a budget. Create a budget. Let's say that you create a budget of $500 and you say, all right, I got about 2 months. I don't want to go over $500. What can I get within that budget? And I'm not going to come back to buying more fragrances for another X amount of months. Create a budget, stick with that budget. Don't go over it. So it's kind of like giving yourself an allowance. And again, just for example, you give yourself an allowance of $500 and you say this $500 is going to be for my fragrances for about 6 months. Okay, cool. Now you know you can't buy any more fragrances once you pass that budget for the next 6 months. Discipline. Trust me. It's going to get out of hand very fast. It's a really good hobby. It's a really expensive hobby. I don't know which one's more expensive, fragrances or cigars. Commandment number 9. Know how to store your fragrances properly. Don't look at fragrance reviewers and social media influencers and you see all of those bottles behind them And you say, oh, okay, I could just have my stuff out in the open. Nah, yeah, that's not what you want to do. Typically, you want to put them in a closet where it's dark and it's not warm in there. You want to keep it in a place that could be, you know, kind of room temperature, kind of cooler. You want your bottles like that because the warmer your bottles get, more those molecules inside of there start working and the faster they tend to evaporate. So for example, never store your fragrance in a car. Don't put it in the glove compartment. Don't put it in the armrest. Don't put it in the door. Why? Because when that sun is hitting that glass, it's making the inside of your vehicle hot. And one thing that'll happen is that you'll end up with an empty bottle of Dior Homme. Okay, granted, it wasn't really empty. It's just that I couldn't get the atomizer out of there and the sprayer got messed up somehow. So I just emptied it into like a bunch of 10 mLs. So, but it will evaporate your fragrance. Let's say you had a bunch of samples and you left the samples in the car and you did that in the summertime. By the time the summer's over, those samples will almost be gone. It'll almost be gone. And what's left is going to be the oil concentration. It'll no longer be like the real fragrance that it once was. My behind me is starting to get empty. Look, there's like almost nothing there anymore. Last but not least, commandment number 10. Expensive doesn't always mean better. Hell, expensive doesn't always mean good. There's going to be a lot of times where you can come across an expensive fragrance. You'll be like, man, that's got to smell divine. Look at the price tag. And you get it and it smells absolutely awful. Doesn't always mean that it's good. Actually, doesn't always mean that it's the best of quality. Sometimes price is just because of the name. Now, on the expensive doesn't always equal better side, let's look at Vulcan Food by French Avenue, which is a clone of God of Fire. The knock on God of Fire is the performance. They say that it's not the strongest, longest lasting fragrance. Whereas something like this, again, you can go heavy on the sprays, but before you step out, you might want to give it about an hour. You can go heavy on the sprays and you're going to get this to perform. Now, would I want to do that with God of Fire? Not if I'm spending like $280 on it. I'll go and spend $40 on this and I'll overspray like crazy. Now, as far as better, which one has the better quality? I would say that the God of Fire has the better quality, but it doesn't mean that it's the better fragrance, depending on what it is that you like. Do you value quality that doesn't last, or do you value good quality, but it's going to perform better for about 15% of the price? That's up to you. And the thing is, something like a God of Fire and Vulcan Food, the quality isn't that much different. That's also something that you got to learn. I'll give you another. Club de Nuit Sillage, one of my favorites. One of my favorite cheapies is a clone of Creed's Silver Mountain Water. Here's the thing. This one actually performs a lot better, and it gets pretty close to what Silver Mountain Water is. But when you pay for Silver Mountain Water, you're paying over $300. When you get this, you're paying 10% of that price. To me, it's a no-brainer. This performs a lot better and still does what that one does. Just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's better. Just because it's expensive doesn't mean that it's good. So I would say always look around. When you see something that's a good scent, but it's got that name value behind it, like a Parfums de Marly, Altair, look around, see if there's some clones for it. See how close those clones get. Well, you'd have to sample, right? And that leads us all the way back to commandment number 2. But we're not going to do the back and forth game. We're going to end this segment, and I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, leave a comment down below. Let me know what are some commandments that you stick by, or if you're new to just the fragrance community and trying to get your fragrance game together, let me know which of these may have helped you. But I'm going to sayonara to the next video. Peace.